So many of you are talking about this time of awakening. You're talking about end times, which of course there aren't any of those. You're talking about what's going on with our economy, what's going on with our ecology, what's going on with our government, what's going on with our psychology, what's going on in this fast-paced world. What's going on? It seems harder for most to find things that hold them into alignment. Life's going too fast, you say. And we say, this is a time when the energies are faster than they've ever been before, because the contrast is more dramatic, which means more people are launching more rockets of desire, which means the potential of launching a rocket that you're not up to speed with is really a strong potential. So the tug of war that you are individually feeling is stronger today than it has ever been before. But it also means the potential for satisfying life experience is stronger than it has ever been before. It means that those who have money and those who have not money, the crevasse between them is becoming greater, because those who are sick and those who are well, the crevasse between them is becoming greater, because the vibration of the planet is moving at a faster pace, which means the source within you who is keeping up with the faster pace is more feelable to you. Your relationship with your inner being is more feelable to you today than it has ever been, because you and what you are living have caused the source within you to evolve and expand more quickly than ever before, which means your keeping up with it is more important than ever before. So that's what we're talking about here. How can I do a better job of keeping up to speed with who I am? And we say, it's pretty easy when first of all you understand who you really are, and next of all you understand that law of attraction is responding to whatever vibrational aspect of you you're focused upon, and that when you focus in vibrational alignment with the source within you, and you allow all of that energy then to be drawn to who you are. Have you heard us say, I'm going to say it again, have you heard us say, we're going to say it again. Have you heard us say that one who is in alignment with the energy that creates worlds is more powerful than millions who are not? Have you heard us talk about the leverage of alignment, you see? Well, that's what we're talking about with this vortex, that when you take the time, and it's just a little bit of time, to acknowledge the existence of this vibrational aspect of you, and you care enough about how you feel that you line up with it, which means you ignore reality and instead give your undivided attention to how you feel, then you harness the energy that creates worlds. And then all things that you desire are not just possible. They're not just probable. They're happening all around you in such abundance that people who are witnessing are saying to you, what is up with you? And you would say simply, I don't know. No, that's not true. You would say, well, they might be ready to hear it and they might not, but you would say simply, I've harnessed the energy that creates worlds. And they would say, oh. As simple as that. And you would say, well, I discovered that how I feel matters most. And I decided to make the way I feel my highest priority. And I decided to not make how I feel be dependent upon anything other than my decision of how I feel. And they would say, oh, as simple as that. You say, well, theoretically it is simple, because the laws of the universe always are. But it took a lot of practice. I had to reach the place where how I felt mattered more than anything, because until how I felt mattered more than anything, I focused on everything else. And nothing else gave me the power. I watched CNN. Or I listened to what was going on through the wall in the hotel room. Juicy stuff. Or I focused upon the problems of the world in my effort to solve them. And then I realized that the vibration of the problem and the vibration of the solution are very different frequencies. And that as long as I was focused upon the problem and felt terrible, that I was part of the problem, not part of the solution. And when I put it together, that how I feel is what matters, then that means I could more often be part of the solution. Then my world began to shift. And they may hear that. They've certainly witnessed it in you. They've noticed that you're upbeat. They've noticed that you feel good mostly. They've noticed that you're often in a good mood. They've noticed that you're not willing to go into a negative conversation. They've noticed that when they start one, you change the subject, and if they start it again, you walk away. They've noticed that you'd rather laugh than cry, and mostly are. They notice that you compliment much more than you criticize. They've been noticing that you have been caring about the way you feel. And we're not really guiding you in this way because we want you to care about what others are thinking. In fact, the opposite of that is what we are teaching with this very understanding that we are delivering here. We want you to not give a rip what anybody else thinks. We want how you feel to be what matters most. And when how you feel is what matters most, everything in your world will change. The other day, Esther was watching a big piece of equipment. It was yellow and big, and said, I'm here to do important work. It shook the ground when it rolled. It had big tracks on it instead of tires. And as Esther was watching the man who was driving it, she noticed how it seemed to be like an extension of his own hands. He could make that pincher thing go out there and pick up really delicate things. It was like it was just part of him. She was fascinated. And then she got fixated on the wheel mechanism, the track. And she was watching it go round and round. There was something stuck on a piece of it, so it was easy to watch that white thing. She was watching it go around and around and around, and she thought it was vortex-like, a little lopsided, but vortex-like. And then she got thinking about how when you're in the vortex, if you can align with the vortex, then the vortex literally reaches out and drags stuff back into the vortex. In other words, it occurred to her that the vortex is this functioning tool that seems to be the creator of the experience, and that her work was just to get into the vortex, and if she could do that, then the vortex would take care of everything else. Something about that mesmerizing moment made Esther realize that it's vortex first and manifestation after. And she said to Jerry, you know, I didn't realize it. I've been listening to Abraham for a really long time. You'd think that of all people on the planet that I would get it. But I swear, I think I just got it all these years later. That I've been looking for manifestations to put me in the vortex. So I've been making lists of positive aspects, which is a good way. I've been looking for something to put me in the vortex. And now I get it. That I don't need justification to be there. I don't need rationalization to be there. I just have to know it exists. I just have to know I'm worthy of it. I just have to know my inner being is there. I just have to want to resonate with it enough that I don't keep active in my vibration things that keep me out of it. I'm just going to make the vortex my predominant intention. And when I do, the vortex will take care of everything else. Vortex first. Every manifestation that you desire then will follow that. So in that understanding, let's talk about what you want to talk about. We're eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. There is nothing off limits. It will be a wonderful day of co-creation. Co-creation at its best. We can feel it coming already because we have the advantage of standing in the vortex. Begin right here. Stand if you think it's you. Yes, if you'll come to the hot seat, they'll strap you in. Actually, it's already taped to the floor, so do not try to move that chair. It's impossible.